Everything was fine, and then something inside me broke. I was lying in bed, nearly asleep, when I started thinking about breathing, about how air moves into the lungs and back out again. And in that moment, the autopilot switched off, the one that runs quietly in the background, the one that handles all of this without being asked. Now I have to think about it, every single time. Think, and then do. At first, I told myself it would pass. Maybe a panic attack, something like that. I tried to ignore it, went to bed, told myself it would be back to normal by morning. But I couldn't sleep, because if I fell asleep, I would forget to breathe. The muscles don't remember. The lungs just wait. Only my conscious will keeps the diaphragm moving. How many times do you breathe in a day? Have you ever tried to count? For me, every inhale and exhale is now a decision, a deliberate act. I didn't sleep. In the morning, I tried to do normal things. I ate breakfast and thought about breathing. I put the TV on in the background, people on screen talking, moving, and I watched them with a sick, black envy. They just breathe. Their bodies remember. Mine has forgotten. I called an ambulance. The paramedics came, ran their checks. Everything normal. Lungs clear, heart fine. You're just thinking about it too much. Try to distract yourself. How the fuck am I supposed to distract myself? If I get distracted, I die. The worst is when I lose the rhythm. Too fast, or too slow. I'm going out of my mind trying to find the right frequency. What was it before, when my body still knew? Breathing is supposed to be a primitive function. Even reptiles have it. The oldest part of the brain. It can't just switch off. But mine did. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe something happened, and now I'm a corpse that has to remember how to pretend to be alive. Every breath a kind of incantation, a magic that holds me on this side. My hands are shaking. I don't know anymore if it's exhaustion or fear. My eyes are drying out because I keep forgetting to blink. I'm terrified that if I start thinking about blinking, that will break too. I can feel my heartbeat now. I never used to feel it. What if I start thinking about that? I can hear it. Please. Please let that one stay automatic. I look in the mirror and don't recognize myself. Eyes like a dead man who doesn't know he's dead, still mechanically working his lungs like a puppet on a string. Maybe I should just stop. Maybe if I get out of the way, my body will remember on its own. This is the third night, 72 hours without sleep. I'm giving up. My eyelids are closing. But I can't. If I go under for even a second, the autopilot won't come back on. It doesn't exist anymore. I fall inward, through flesh and bone, past the beating heart, past the lungs waiting for their orders, deeper and deeper, down into the oldest part, the place where breath is born. I see a corridor of living tissue. The walls pulse around me. I follow a dim light at the far end and come to a small room. At the center stands a pump covered in rust. I know it's supposed to move up and down, pushing air. It's perfectly still. Something is sitting in the corner, a small hunched creature with gray skin hanging in folds, arms too long, fingers too thin, head bowed. "You," I whisper, and my voice echoes off the walls of meat around me. It raises its head slowly. Where the eyes should be, there are only hollows, but I can feel it looking at me. "You came," the creature says in a voice worn flat with exhaustion. "What did you do?" I ask. "Why did you stop?" The creature points to the pump with its long fingers. 1,000 times an hour, it whispers. 24,000 times a day. 8 million times a year. I have done this since the moment you were born. Up, down, up, down. Not 1 second of rest, never. But that's your job. You're supposed to... Tired, it says, cutting me off. So tired. 32 years, every second. Even when you slept. Even when you never gave it a thought. I remembered. Always. It stands. Its body trembles with the effort. I have wanted to leave for so long, the creature whispers. But I couldn't. Not until you noticed. Not until you understood. Now you know about the pump. Now it's your turn. No! I shout. Wait, I don't know how. You do, it says. Inhale, exhale, every second, every minute, every hour, 8 million times a year, until the very end. How long do I have to? For the rest of your life, it answers. I wake up gasping, gulping at the air. I understand now that this will never end. I will inhale and exhale 1,000 times an hour, 24,000 times a day, 8 million times a year, 40 years, maybe, if I'm lucky. Every second, without drifting, without sleeping, without forgetting, not even for a moment.